New phenomenon out. Sharpie lipstick seems to be going around among the younger set. Ladies, I thought you were the smarter half of the population. Deal with more of that in a minute. Foul-mouthed Gavin Newsom. This is one of them on the COVID. He's running around in Tennessee now. I guess we're done with South Carolina.
Now, do you really think that the vaccine prevented people from getting COVID?
I think it prevented the acuity of the symptoms and disease and kept people out of the emergency rooms. And I think that's universally accepted, at least by 90% of objective experts.
Man, I don't know. I just, when I wound up getting the vaccine. It's one of the only fucking things I regret. and I did it.
Which one was it? Did you go old school Johnson & Johnson?
Pfizer.
So you did the mRNA. Yeah, you did the novel, a different version.
And I was.
This is good. You're going to get more into it. This guy, I've never heard of him, but I guess he's some big time influencer. The whole Gavin Newsom. This went on for 4 hours. We're gonna roll with this a lot during the week, but this is just the first one we're gonna deal with later on too in the show. President is going to be the energy king of the world. Here he is giving an update in Pennsylvania.
Say this, that we have the greatest brains, we have the greatest power, and we are going to have more electric. I said to some of the guys coming in, they wanted to hook up to the grid.
Trump is going, if Trump does anything, if he puts us on a path to plentiful and cheap energy, the United States will see an economic boom that will make the one after World War II look like chicken ass, as Gavin Newsom would say it. Anti-strawberries in Chino? They're going to get rid of the strawberry fields. KCAL report.
Concerns over development plans in Chino. Plans for mixed-use buildings cropping up for a field that houses rows of fresh strawberries. Neighbors tell KCAL's Joy Benedict affordable housing laws are plowing through their hopes of appealing the project.
This whole deal with the development going on and bypassing local control, Chino may lose some of their last strawberry fields. There will be no agriculture in California, Southern California anyway. There's hardly any anyway. We can't afford to lose the fields we got. The only ones we're going to have left is weed farms that have child labor from overseas or foreign lands. The Gen Z stare.
Let's dig into what the internet is calling the Gen Z stare or the Gen Z gaze. You might not know what that means, but you've definitely been on the receiving end at one point or another. Those young people who look past you with a blank, emotionless stare into nowhere gaze during normal everyday interactions while you're trying and attempting to communicate with.
This one I haven't noticed amongst the Gen Z crowd, but again, we'll hit more of that later on in the show. Hillary may be in trouble. Let's hope so. Fauci, I got a list. Epstein ain't the only
report on Hillary Clinton's email that reveals that the United States intelligence community got new evidence of possible criminality in the Hillary Clinton email scandal, but did not pursue it just before James Comey cleared her of all criminal wrongdoing. That has stayed secret for 8 years. Chuck Grassley, the Senate Judiciary Committee chairman, has been relentlessly pursuing it. He has President Trump's ear. I think that's going to get declassified in the next few days. That will show.
Oh, let's hope so. The witch, there isn't enough lifetime in her that she should ever see the light of day.
Well, we have school choice, and we're getting school choice approved all over the country. We just got it done in Texas, and school choice is the answer.
Yes, it is. 1,000%. If that's number two, energy, if we get the Department of Education abolished and clean up the state and school districts, the the renaissance that will come from that in the United States and the world, because the United States is the engine that runs the world economy. If we got money, everybody else prospers. No undocumented immigrants will be eligible for bond hearings. ABC News report.
Immigration for the administration.
Yeah, this is a development that was first reported by the Washington Post and confirmed this morning by ABC News. A new policy by ICE saying that those who enter the country illegally will no longer be eligible or no longer have access to bond hearings and can be held indefinitely in ICE detention while their deportation proceedings go forward. George, as you know, those proceedings.
You don't have a right to be in this country. You don't have full constitutional rights as an American citizen, even if you're here legally but not American citizen, and especially if you're here illegally or unlawfully. You may have some. You have limited, the courts have said you have limited, not full, limited constitutional rights. So this is another one we hope sticks, as they say. Man, oh man, got a lot more goodies to come on today's show. It's your Friday Live at 5, and Evil LP Network, Rumble, X, YouTube on the Roy Bleckert channel, which seems to be working a lot better than IE Newswire. I haven't gotten thrown off of that one yet. I don't know what. Got to ride the wave as long as it'll go. Lots of good stuff coming up. And even from a local standpoint in the Inland Empire, but this is a thing that's going to be a phenomenon across California if we let it ride, is this whole thing about development and taking over local control. The people of Chino or whoever have a right to decide how they want their area done. Not Gavin Newsom, not Eloise Reyes if she ever shows up. Not anyone else. So even though whichever way the Chino folks and their council decide, we'll see how that goes. But the broader, this has been going on all across California. Huntington Beach has been one of the biggest ones suing on it. The whole Gen Z stare down Sharpie as lipstick thing. Really, that one really trips my trigger on that. I didn't really realize both of them were going on, but I don't know. The stare down thing is not as disturbing to me as the Sharpie on the lipstick, or using Sharpie pens, which I use all the time to write with. To do anything, I mean, ink on your body is not, especially, this type of ink. I don't even, even the tattoos are not that great. You can get some pretty bad poisonings off of tattoos, even after they've been on there a while. So your body just naturally doesn't sync to that stuff. And then, but to put it on as a lipstick, holy cow. I never would have guessed that one, but apparently it's a big phenomenon going on amongst the very younger ladies crowd. So again, we will see if that comes to fruition or how that turns out. I don't see how it can turn out well at all in most cases. I mean, I guess, if you write some, cops used to do that all the time. Before, with the old Motorola two-way radios, half the time you couldn't hear. And when you did, heck, they would write on a pen on their hand on that where they were, da 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 da. And that's true. They used to do that a lot. So I mean, I guess it's not the most dangerous thing you could probably be doing, but I don't think it's a real. But that's on your hand. When you're getting mouth, that's getting close to your brain. So I don't know about that one. Foul-mouthed Newsom going on. He's just one hell of a piece of work. And without a bleep machine, I can't run it on KMET, but we'll run a couple clips or so a day for the rest of the week, provided he doesn't get something else going on. But he was on 4 hours. 4 hours with some dude named Ryan, some influencer, looks like a Gen Zer or something. Whatever. Got nothing against, anybody doing their craft or doing this kind of stuff. But before we get to that, there was a memo sent out by the Democratic Party. And they said, hey, you got, in order to attract the younger voter, you got to start using the F word, S word, GD, let them all rip. Maybe that's part, and I've said this, ladies, you trying to act like us and the retarded half of the population with the language and the tattoos and the crude behavior. This is what we're getting down to. And they think that's because, especially since the younger said, if you're under 45, it started with my generation and the baby boomers. But 45, some of the ladies sometimes let the F word and the foul language fly way more than I ever do. And I mean, I can rip them off when I'm pissed off. I try not to do it. I roll it once in a while when I'm on the net or when I'm out in public. But I try to keep it to a minimum because that's just not good. If you're going to use those words, use them very discriminately and very few. Because if you're using those words, you want it to make an impact. If you're just using it as your normal lingo, then they just become, just everyday normal words people bypass it, which they shouldn't be. Probably really shouldn't use that language ever, but hey, we're human beings, we're not perfect. We played a little bit of the COVID one on the intro, but this is part of the disingenuous of this whole thing, of the whole COVID con. This sums it up. And this sums up another why I've said men have no balls. And ladies, you're not gonna like turning men into women. Because this dude's the same as Newsom and everything else, but they've learned that. This has been, and this goes back to too, I remember this. I remember watching the soap operas when I was a little kid when my mom would have, when you'd be in the summertime or summer vacation or you'd be faking homesick like we probably never did. But every woman on there was having an abortion because it was if she had the kid, she was going to die, life of the, health of the mother and all that. But she asked Ron Paul, which was a gynecologist, and, 30-year member of Congress, delivered thousands of babies. Never once did he said ever one of them have anything to do with health of the mom or, they had to get rid of the kid because of health of the mother. Just never happened. Thousands of babies delivered. So, I want to rock and roll with this one. On the old meter. Started with the whole COVID con. Here we go. Maybe. Oh, wrong one.
You really think that the vaccine prevented people from getting COVID?
I think it prevented the acuity of the symptoms and disease and kept people out of the emergency rooms. And I think that's universally accepted, at least by 90% of objective experts.
No, no, and no. First word should have been no. We were all lying to you. Lying. We were conning you because we knew first we were going to rip you up. First we were going to take away your jobs. Then we were going to tell you you can't go outside. We were going to run every aspect of your lives and make you like it. I don't know what you ladies, the smarter half the population, see in that rotten SOB, but you really got to hate yourselves if that's what you think a man should be. Or that's good looking. Or just because he's good looking, I want to blank him and I just get the hots and don't care. He can ruin the whole world. As long as I'm getting what I want.
Man, I don't know. I just, when I wound up getting the vaccine. It's one of the only fucking things I regret. and I did.
No, you got no balls, buddy. And this is a problem. If you had any balls and brains, you would have said, screw it. But you have none of either. Anybody with half a brain said, this is ridiculous. And if you had any balls, you did not only say no, you said hell no, and you shouted it loud. Instead of getting on a podcast with Newsom and doing this and encourage girls to put their Sharpie on their makeup on their dudes so you think they look great. Consequently, they're doing harm to their health according to doctors. This whole me crap has got to stop. And men being sissy women have got to stop. Stand up and tell Newsom, you had no balls, you con-ass SOB. Get off my show, you piece of S. If you want to be Mr. F word and all that and think you look tough with your little tattoos.
Which one was it? Did you go old school Johnson & Johnson?
Pfizer.
So you did the mRNA. Yeah, you did the novel, a different version.
And I was scared to death I was going to miss the birth of my son. So yeah. I took it. And then I got fucking COVID a couple weeks later. And
So, Mr. Thinks you're badass with your gold watches, your goofy tattoos, and your little gold frame pictures. Oh, I acquiesced. I sawed off my nuts, handed it over, and I took the little vaccine, and I got COVID anyway. You should be telling Gavin Newsom, this is why you should resign being the governor of California today. Look at all not even the economic damage you did.
Couldn't test. I got the test and it was, this one's positive, this one's negative. And I'm like, you guys have any idea what the hell you're doing? You just gave me the same test with an
What's with the no socks? If you're going to wear shoes like that, if you're not going to wear socks, wear flip-flops or sandals. The little tidy, women-y pants. Both of them got on. This is ridiculous. No wonder you would have, oh, please give me the vax. Don't hurt me. and complain about it afterwards. Oh, this was stupid. Again, if you had any brains or balls, you wouldn't have took it. And today, when you got Newsom in front of you, you said, "You ignorant." You want to use that cuss words? You ignorant a-hole. You're the one every day, hours a day, Monday through Saturday or Sunday through Saturday, with your evil twin Como, telling us we were all going to die and feeding us this crap. Well, you were making millions. Oh, yeah. I'd like to see how many brown paper sacks showed up at the Newsom residence.
Positive and a negative.
Yeah,
What
there's a lot of false positives. Man, it's messy. Life's messy. Public health is messy, and there's no experts out here. There's again back to, I just think everybody, I don't know how to best say it.
When you see that look, you know any man, you see a look like that. I don't know. When they do this, they're lying through their frickin' teeth. Oh, yeah, honey, all I want to do is rub your knee. I don't care. You see that look, that when he's doing that, subliminally, he's telling you I'm lying. Public health is not a mystery. Going to your doctor, we have the finest medical system, even as screwed up as we've tried to do it. We have the most advanced technology, can stop a lot of stuff we never thought possible. And you systematically wanted to ruin it. And, well, no, it's complicated. And we couldn't. When he gets when he gets a real, same thing, when he gets that look in the real gravelly voice, any dude's doing that. Oh, you want to give him the stare down? Just give him the stare down. You lying sack of ish.
And
There it
I think
is.
that
There's
the
lip
vaccine.
bite. He finishes it off. Let's go. He finishes
And there's no
it off
experts
with the
out here.
lip bite.
There's again back to, I just think everybody, I don't know.
Everybody. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
How to best say it.
Right there. Oh, just there. But you saw him with the lip bite. When they do that, Bill Clinton was big at that. Go look at Bill Clinton tapes. Monica Lewinsky. I didn't have sex with that woman. Same thing. Look for the verbal cues. Ladies and gentlemen. There it is. You see that? Go look at the Clinton tapes. You can see that plain as day. Let's finish off.
Anyone has certainty about what we did or didn't do or could have, I mean, just bullshit.
And this went on for 4 hours. Not only the host, Newsom's doing this. And again, there's a memo that went out from the Democratic Party that said, oh, you got to use the F words because the new generation, that's the way they talk, and that's the way you'll connect with them. I mean, I roll them out in public once in a while. Trump's done it. Trump's really been the first politician I've seen get away with it, but it's part of his persona. Now that's the way, get used to it. Well, unless they see a backlash over it. But the language and everything is how you get to, and we'll get to that, the Gen Z stare down and the Sharpie lipstick story that broke on, that's supposedly going on TikTok, that broke on the NYP. But this is how you get to the breakdown of society. And it's not doing us any good at all with this kind of stuff. Well, like I said, we'll have more. We'll have more. Get the frog out of my throat. We'll have more on this 4-hour interview. And I'm sure as he's touring this, and we don't have any problems going on in California, that he's got to be gallivanting to South Carolina and Tennessee, and 4 hours on a podcast in Tennessee. He has written off California. Just like he did his first wife cheating on with his best friend campaign manager. He's done with California like you would be done with a $20 hooker. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Get the blank out of here. That is Gavin Newsom today. That has always been
30 seconds.
Gavin Newsom. And it will always be Gavin Newsom. As Sean said, will be coming on the Mighty Met KMET 1490, as we usually do.
10 seconds, Roy. Here we go.
Round around.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by the station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5:30 on the Mighty Met 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire in the aforementioned AM band. Join our vast video audience in the Evil Lippy Network and Rumble. Check us out. Subscribe. Type in IE Newswire on Rumble. Had a lot of stuff going on. We're going to get into the whole Sharpie incident. The smarter half of the population is now, instead of lipstick, they are using Sharpies. Yes, Sharpies as lipstick. The Gen D stare down. Much more on that. Maybe we'll get to the Chino report. They're less, hardly any agriculture except weed farms employing illegal child labor, it looks like. They want to get rid of the strawberry farms in Chino, the few left, and put up 100-story hatcheries, ghetto complexes. It's blatantly stunning, all the stuff that we subject ourselves, yet never, ever, ever have any answers to. But we keep going. We keep going at a pace that's not going to be any good for any of us. I kid you not. It's absolutely 1,000%. One of the biggest and I can't believe a lot, is the cultural changes that we have been enduring. The language, as you notice, the absolutely terrible language that goes on anymore. Sometimes it's beyond any sort of even semi-acceptable protocol. But here we go. We get to a guy like
Little
this,
humility.
Gavin Newsom. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling that this guy can get away with what he does. I can't even play it on KMET without a bleep button. Because he's so, he was on a podcast for 4 hours. 4 hours. And it was F word this. And S word that. And it was incredible. But we have allowed this kind of stuff to pervade our society. I don't know. I don't know how we got in this condition. I really don't. But this guy is in Tennessee for 4 hours. 4 freaking hours. And he is absolutely, without fail, 1,000%, 1,000%, one of the most disingenuous clowns we have ever seen. But we shall see how it all works out. Hopefully I can get a bleep machine in here and run some of the clips so I can run it on KMET, because it was absolutely incredibly stunning of what went on. This is another one. Talk about, and I think this is why the culture is. This is a new phenomenon going on. Yes, it's a young lady using a Sharpie pen as lipstick. Apparently this is going on all across TikTok. On this, it broke on the New York Post. Sharpie lip liner trend goes viral on TikTok and doctors warn of potential dangers. Now, ladies, I really thought, and we refer to you as the smarter half of the population, why in heaven's name would you take a Sharpie pen and put it across your lips and think that is a smart, intelligent, something thing to do? There's lots of, lots of dangerous chemicals in the ink that goes in these things. That's why they make lipstick, which has chemicals in it too, but not as volatile and dangerous as it's in a Sharpie pen. Some influencers on social media are participating in the viral Sharpie liner trend, which is exactly what it sounds like. How do you... Standard users apply. Typically, in shades of red or coil to the edges of their mouth before going at it again with lip gloss and lipstick, according to numerous videos. I don't know. Dr. Brooke Jeffy, a board-affiliated dermatologist located in Scottsdale, Arizona, told Fox News Digital that she finds the trend concerning. No kidding. The risk is not worth it. The fact that we have to even say this, it's got xylene and toluene. Those are dangerous freaking chemicals. You know, just skin contact with xylene and toluene can kill you. That's why if you ever handle that and you use it, a lot of industrial uses, even stain on wood, you thin it with xylene or toluene a lot of times, and the urethane resins and stuff. Tells you right on there, use rubber gloves. Do not let these chemicals get in contact with your skin. It could be fatal. Go, if they still sell, I'll have to go look at the next time in the hardware store. They used to sell it, you know, with the lacquer thinners and all that. It's like, you see, for a lot of uses. But you used it to thin down stain, you know, for doing wood cabinets or whatever you were doing. Holy cow. So you see, there's a lot of dangerous. There's a lot of dangerous chemicals in this thing. My recommendation, I'm with Dr. Brooke. Do not put this stuff on your face. Not don't even write anywhere, especially your face. Vaya caramba. The whole Gen Z stare down phenomena going on. I don't remember running or seeing this look. But here's another oddball one going on. Here's a CBS 2 report.
First things first, a couple of disclaimers here. Most people online are not arguing over whether or not the Gen Z stare exists, but rather how and why it's deployed. Here's one example.
Hey, how are you? Can I help you find anything, or are you just looking around? Looking.
Here's another one.
Do you need a minute? I can give you a minute.
What about this one?
I want a latte with whole milk, but I'm lactose intolerant.
All right. Gen Zers are, of course, rightfully defending themselves, saying that working in customer service jobs, the stare is a reaction to, quote, stupidity.
This is why employers are firing Gen Zers by the droves. In my youth, I worked for a Jewish guy. And he said the customer is always right. You say, yes, sir, no, ma'am, how can I help you? They can cuss you out, call you every dirty name in the book. You apologize until you make the sale. Make the sale. Make sure they're down the block out of earshot. He said, after that, you can cuss them, anything you want to do. But the customer is always right until you get that dollar bill and they're out the door.
And they want to remind the internet that their jobs stink. One person wrote on X that if you had to deal with the insane amount of absolutely bleeping brain dead people you've ever met in your life for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you'd probably do this too. But hang on. Some people are pushing back on that narrative, saying, look, good customer service is a privilege, it's not a right, and so is your job in customer service. Another person on social media says, look, guys, meaning Gen Z, you're making yourselves way more replaceable by AI.
There you go. That's why they're getting replaced. And the brain dead is you guys, and maybe it isn't 100% your fault. I mean, we got the studies coming out. Maybe we'll get into them later this week. Fourth graders. 2/3 are a basic level, but the very basic level of reading or less. 40% basically cannot read. You can tell the incarceration rate in your community, in society, is going to be huge. By the 3rd and 4th grade reading and math levels, and math is about even half of what reading level is. No matter what, the customer, up until this point, was right. Now, the kids and Gen Zers especially, millennials started it, or was probably the worst, but they were the millennials were the helicopter parents of the Gen Zers that just sheltered them from everything. They have no idea how to deal with this stuff. And the dude was right. This is what Musk is talking about. You're going to get replaced by AI. Or society is going to come crashing down because it's going to crash with this kind of attitude, with that kind of philosophy. Guarantee. It's just to that, and this is a short clip. We played it in the intro. Before we get to the next one, here's a quickie. As they say, Donald J. on school choice. And this is why we have to have school choice. The few that want to be educated, they deserve to have an education.
Well, we have school choice, and we're getting school choice approved all over the country. We just got it done in Texas, and school choice is the answer. Yes. Well,
yes, it is. The whole school system's rotten. Hopefully we'll get into that next week, or the rest of the week too. Again, 9,432. I'm going to have to start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get all this stuff in. But Donald J. is exactly 111% correctamundo. Switching gears a little bit, Donald J. Why we're going to lead in energy and why we need to, because we're going to have to replace these guys and we're going to need electrical power to do it.
I spoke to Mark and Jeff and a lot of people, and they said, well, we want to know about the electric, because I was told we'll need from David The first one, you're the first one that told me. That's why I hired him, because I said he told me something I didn't know. He said, you need double the electric of what we have right now and maybe even more than that. Remember that? And I said, what, are you kidding? And that's double the electric that we have. Take everything we have and double it. And actually, the number, that was even low. You need more than.
Yes. That's just to run AI. Not electric cars, not electric trucks. We have to double our capacity just to run AI of electricity. If we don't start drill baby drilling for natural gas, building nuclear power plants, clean coal, China's building a dirty coal electricity. Don't buy that crap about there's solar, this or that. Even Musk is trying to do that, and he's full of crap. And again, Donald Trump on camera in front of the people Monday through Friday, I believe every day since he became president on January 20th, 2025 for the second time. We're in a renaissance. We have, and I'm all for the Epstein files coming out. That needs to be done. There needs to be, if Pam Bondi wants to, and I don't really like special prosecutors, and especially if she needs to appoint Matt Gaetz, a special prosecutor, under all this. The Crossfire Hurricane, give him carte blanche. Crossfire Hurricane, Jan 6, Epstein, the emails, the whole enchilada, just whatever. And, if you got other things on your plate or whatever, and I get that, there's a lot of things to do, just hand that off to Matt. Let him take the heat over that and do the rest of the stuff, and let's knock off all the stuff. It's a phenomenon that will kill us if we don't straighten it out. Like you see here, U.S. running, California, which is BS, running on 60%, 7% clean energy, prices double the U.S. average. It's not cheaper. It will not be probably in most of our lifetimes. Wind and solar, as Trump said, it ain't cutting it. So let's drill, baby, drill. Let's build natural gas, coal, nuclear. Like you see, mini micro plants. Build a new plant like they're doing. Build your own electricity generation. You have a new car factory, whatever, new tire plant. Build your own power generating source. It's not, as they say, that complicated. But you have dinglings. We in California have elected dinglings like Gavin Newsom and down. And hopefully we start rectifying that in big time, starting with the 26 elections. That's why I believe it's importante that we, even amongst that Epstein stuff, get it out in the open. Do what you got to do. Again, Pam, if you don't want to do it, appoint Gates or somebody. Haruba Valley Sheriff Station, congratulating Explorer Beal and Explorer Peraza from graduating. So we got some new potential cops. Milvet has a veterans fundraiser coming up honoring all that serve. So go check that out. Who was the IE guy that put that caricature of a fox human skin bear outside the Arco station? Oh, man. Semi with natural gas leak caused a stir on the 10 freeway in Rialto. 2 Chino Hills residents arrested after leaving a store with unpaid merchandise in Rancho Cucamonga. $10 Whisker Wednesdays at the Moreno Valley Animal Shelter, so go adopt a pet if you so desire. Man shot to death in a road rage attack in Menifee. Police say other driver arrested. San Bernardino cop says, come on now. They got a dude who's suspected of stealing a vehicle. Good job, Purdue cops. They're winning the PR war on the cop steal out here in the IE here lately. City of Corona says it's Traffic Tuesday. Paris Auto Speedway lives by 2 rules. Think you know what they are? Drop a guess in there, and maybe you'll win some tickets to the sprint car races, stock cars coming up this Saturday night. Lake Elsinore congratulating some of their Explorer graduates. Driver hospitalized after a 210 freeway crash. San Bernardino. Young man accused of gunning down a shopper at the Desert Hills Premium Outlet Store as one of the wanted victims had a Rolex watch. That trial is ongoing. Hemet cops on their DU checkpoint report. Yes, that guy is genius. Have a personalized plate like that. Oh, man. Rivco del Taco to drop the most bizarre taco of the summer. Can't wait to see what that is. New Vallarta coming to Harupa Valley. Moval Rocks having the concert series out there. There's that one of the IE man arrested for that caricature outside of the gas station. 2 Democrats and Republicans visited the Adelano ICE Detention Center. Only one get in. Well, hey, that's the way it goes. They're jails. They just can't people have running around there. I don't care if you're congressman or not. Lake Elsinore storm updated with the local wineries. I hope the ball players didn't get drunk. I don't think they did. That'll do it for the local report. What a day. Tuesdays are, Mondays are always busy. You get the weekends, everything of that, and then everybody gets in on Monday and has to deal with everything. So you always get a lot of stuff, so you can't cram it all in there like you should. The good news of that is it's always Wednesday. You get another crack at the apple. That'll do it for today. As we usually say at this time, mandatory you're back here 23 hours live. Best darn show in the whole wide world. Until then, see ya.
The proceeding was a...
All right, Roy, I will talk to you in a couple days.
You got her.
Bye now.